guest list. But
No. It's the entire guest list. And seriously, look, I will admit, it is next to impossible to really have seen everything that every guest has ever done. But you do have certain ones that rate a little that I'm really, really looking forward to meeting. And definitely Sean Gunn. Again, I've been a big fan of he and his brothers for years, really. James Gunn is just phenomenal, and I like his attitude, and I like the way he makes his movies.
You don't sit down and say, well, the comic book wasn't that great, but I'm going to do the movie anyway, unless you have a little bit of cojones. Right.
And I saw a movie with a talking raccoon as one of the main stars.
There are websites out there that say that Rocket was more important than everybody else on the movie. So, and
well, I mean, and in a way, we kind of have Rocket coming to this event. We
certainly do,
and that's what's kind of got me, excited. So, but
yeah, the great thing about Sean Gunn is he's so many things in one. Because he's the onset Rocket, he's the onset Thanos, he's he's plays Kraglin as well, and he's just got this really important supporting set of roles, really, just supporting his brother.
Yeah, and it's great. I mean, I'm just really jazzed because it's two guys that actually come from Missouri, and here they had the #1 comic book movie of last year.
And then, of course, we were speaking.
Yeah, that's you. Okay,
with Miss Huffman and our comparison of her Black Canary versus the current Black Canary. We also have Lori Vandervoort. That's gonna, and I'm loving to hear her take on the upcoming Supergirl movie. I could go on. I'm sorry, television series. That eventually, the
television series
probably be a part of the next
upcoming
movie.
Supergirl television series.
Jared King Lawler, Kent McCord from Galacta 1980. The list goes on and on. I'm just
actually, it's Kent McCord of Adam 12. Okay, I know you're a much younger guy than I am, but let's just set the record straight.
I will share with you. I want to share with you guys. Kent McCord is literally the first celebrity that I ever remember going, that guy's cool. I want to be like him. I was 5 years old watching Adam 12.
Oh yeah. And may I commend you guys on having sort of like a mini X-Files reunion. I mean, come on, Mitch Pileggi and Carrie Elwes. I mean, it's wow.
Yeah,
and given some of the information that's come out now, and the fact that you have a lot of people that were connected with the show that are very excited to probably go back and help do a new version of the series.
Scott Wilson,
I'm excited.
Micheal Rooker. Of course, you're not gonna. As far as television right now, every Sunday, everybody is waiting for their Walking Dead. So that's going to be an interesting conversation. Both great interviews. I've actually spoken to both of them in Tulsa just recently this last year. Of course, and you can't even end our interview or end our show without mentioning the Amell brothers and their current success, which is by far the most phenomenal thing. Cousins.
The Amell cousins, dude. We got to get that right. They are cousins, not brothers.
And yes, this is our cousin show. Karen and Caitlin and Stephen and Robbie.
Kirk, do you follow either one of the two shows right now currently?
Yeah. It's hard not to, I think.
I actually don't. I've seen about an episode and a half of Arrow when we first booked Stephen Amell, and I thought, well, I better see this show, at least part of it. And I'm not. Actually, boy, I hate to sound like a snob, but I don't watch a whole lot of primetime TV these days. And I don't blame it on being an old fogey.
He's actually a Marvel fan, and it's okay. It's quite okay to be a Marvel fan. We all know that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is off the chain. One of the most suspenseful and amazing season finales I've seen in a very long time. I didn't think it was going to be that good, and then they just blew me out of the water.
Oh yeah. Oh, it was a terrific, and I've actually not dipped into this season yet. I mean, I've heard elements of things that are going on, but I will save it and probably blast through it at some point later on. But man, last season with a bit of a sputtery, simmery, slow start, and then just kicked into hyperdrive.
I was a believer from episode 1 mainly because it's Joss Whedon. And I mean, that's just
my disappointment with episode 1 was at the end of it. I'm like, wait a minute, J. August Richards isn't going to be a series regular, because he was gone after the end of that episode, and it wasn't until much later in the season that he popped back up, and I'm like, yes. And then we went the whole Deathlock route, and that was wonderful. Oh yeah.
Well, now, as far as the rest of the people that we have,
definitely
Garrett Wang from Star Trek Voyager, definitely looking forward to talking to him. Missouri's Adrienne Wilkinson, who, not only for her work on Xena, but she's also someone who had been on Angel. And Sam Witwer, love him, great guy. One of the few guests one of the few actors that had actually gotten involved with video games. So there's a lot of, I think you're going to get a lot of people that have been playing his character in the Force Unleashed games.
Yep. Well, in fact, we're working on panels right now, and I got an email from Adrienne as I'm putting things together. She's like, I don't believe that you don't have me and Sam on a panel together. It seemed like such a natural fit, because she's also in the Force Unleashed. I'm like, so who knows? I may be tinkering a little bit with those panels here when we get off the podcast.
And of course, Erin Gray, who I have just always loved. I mean, this will probably be the 5th time I've seen her. And she's just phenomenal every single time I see her.
And I'll share with you that she is a very important part of the success of Planet Comicon, more than people would realize. Erin obviously is known for being on Buck Rogers, for being on Silver Spoons, for doing a lot of other TV work. But the other thing that she is she runs a top-notch celebrity booking agency that helps book people for these shows like ours. And Erin has been a friend of Planet Comicon going way, way back and helping us get great guests for the show. And so
like
some of these people
Sarah Douglas, I think, was one of hers, right?
Well, and and several of the people that you guys have been geeking out about right now, they're coming because Erin and her great team make that possible.
Kirk, because we do this, we do stuff like this all the time. With Stephen Amell and Arrow being such a hot show right now, one of the coolest things I think about the show is the way they introduce other superheroes and other villains. But us, we're kind of different. I'd like to see any villain. It doesn't have to be a DC villain, but if you could have any villain go after Mr. Arrow and see how well he handles it, who would you pit him against?
It's a tough one. Who is any villain against Arrow?
Actually, that would be awesome.
Let's do a mashup. Let's bring Hawkeye over and let's go hero versus hero. How about that?
Oh, that would be fun.
The one from the actual current run of Avengers, as opposed to like doing a different one. Like that would I would love.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah, if we're doing this in our minds, then as far as I'm concerned, we're kind of pulling straight out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and we're going to drop Jeremy Renner in there.
Taking them on.
Wow,
they don't always do everything right.
Yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., a DC. Wow,
I'm thinking like Icon. Like, deal with this.
That's, again, a little bit of a tough one for me. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I'm also thinking, let's go really wild. Let's put the Joker in there. Very different sort of, approach to stuff than what they're doing on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But wouldn't you like to see a Joss Whedon take on the Joker?
Well, not me. Actually,
that just blows everybody's mind.
Yeah.
He's been geeking out over something that he's one of his favorite characters is from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and he's still madly in love with her, and he just found out how old she was.
Well, it's not a character. I was just amazed that we had found out how old
Ming-Na Wen is.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, she's like my age. Which is, I mean, look, I think quite literally. I think that she's within a few months of my age. But yeah, she looks great. I mean, she, what is she, like 49 or 50 or something like that? Isn't she?
She informed us that this weekend, and
I'm almost.
I mean, for the rest of the weekend.
She's 52.
52. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I remember. I mean, I've been following Ming-Na Wen literally since her first professional television work. My wife was a big fan of As the World Turns back in the day, wow. And it was a point in my life when I was home during the day and it was on, or she was recording on the VCR, and I'm like, this young Asian girl shows up at the doorstep of one of the main family homes, and it's like, oh, she's a long lost child from one of the characters' time in Vietnam, and it's like, oh man, this poor chick can't act, but she got better. she looks good and always charismatic, and I mean, like a lot of young people who get their start on soap operas, that's where they get their chops. They come in with some charisma, and they turn it into real craft, and that was certainly what she's done. And I mean, I've followed her through. She was on The Single Guy, she's on ER, the voice of Mulan, Joy Luck Club. I mean, she's done a tremendous amount of stuff in her career, and
IMDb is just the best way to catch up with everything that she's done. And
Stargate. I was lobbying to get her at Planet Comicon as a celebrity guest back in her Stargate days, and we just never made it happen. And of course, now she's bigger than ever thanks to S.H.I.E.L.D.
I loved all her work. I love every time I'm on Twitter and I see something of her. I'm so impressed. I'm thinking next year for sure, but.
We're doing a huge love fest for somebody who's not at Planet Comicon, but like maybe next year.
They like the minute I said that, J. August's picture popped up right in front of me. Like I said, his work on Angel was awesome, but him as Deathlock, when they announced that he was going to be Deathlock, my only concern was the costume and how well he was going to pull it off. He pulled off everything related to that character.
I knew he was going to be good. I have total faith in Joss, but I have to disagree slightly. My thoughts will always be about Angel and him as Gunn. That was a perfect part for him. The entire cast of that series was just phenomenal.
He played on Arrow,
and that was my saddest part. Was just in season the show didn't get a sixth and seventh season.
Arrow, it was very good. I'm impressed with all of his work every time I see him. And
me too. I love the guy. He really was a part of Angel. Rather, I mean, I felt like Angel was through most of its run an uneven series, especially in the first season or two. Mm-hmm. And by the time he came on, and they really kind of found and hit their stride, and he was a big part of that.
Yeah, big part of that. And by the time the show went off the air, I have to say it was just I found the series in its fifth season to be as impressive, if not slightly more impressive, than Buffy.
Yeah, I agree with that. It was certainly, to my mind, it had just hit its stride. It was at the peak of its game, and then no season 6.
Yeah.
You do remember the last line, the exact last line.
Oh, yeah.
Me personally, I've always wanted to slay the dragon.
I don't. Got me stumped.
It's a great line.
Let's go to work.
Okay? And I'm Keith, you know me. I'm a lover of great lines, and to me that was. Yes, it was.
Yeah, but that wasn't the last line, dude. No. That was the next to last line. And that was a great line.
It's a great